All right, the Minnesota Vikings database that me and Gavin did. The intro to the database. The Minnesota Vikings database is designed to manage and analyze essential team operations. So we kind of like built it so we can keep track of the fan engagement, ticket sales, and like merchandise inventory, and like the opponents. We try to keep track of the record and some like really important information on the players and stuff, like their like how much they get paid, salary, and like their medical records and stuff for like if they get injured, and many other things. This database also provides insight into game now analytics, performance reporting, and security access control. So we kind of so we kind of just had it built off that too. Scalability, integration features ensure that the system can grow and adapt to evolving needs of the organization, just in case like we get a new player or a random injury occurs, and we have to like keep it updated and stuff like that, and continue to grow just in case new stuff arises. This is centralized. The centralized system enables efficient data management and supports strategic decision making for the team. So, next slide. It's the same thing. Just continue. Okay, so how do I go back? I'm just gonna. Okay. Functions the database supports. So we made tables for the player management, which tracks players' details such as performance metrics, medical history, training schedules, ensure optimal team coordination. Another table we made was the fan engagement. This stores information about the fan demographics, preferences, loyalty programs, and purchasing behavior to enhance the overall fan experience. Another table we made is ticket sales. This manages ticket inventory, pricing, discounts, promotions offered to streamline sales and maximize the revenue. Merchandise inventory monitors stock levels, data or sales data, and supplier details, helping manage inventory efficiently, and identify top selling items. Here it is continued. So we also made a game analytics table. It collects and analyzes data on the team performance, opponent comparison, and historical trends for strategic insights. And then we made another one on reporting and dashboards. This one generates reports on key metrics such as player stats, sales figures, fan engagement, and supporting the decision making. And we did one for the security, manages user roles, access levels, and audit logs to ensure data security. And we also did one on the scalability, so it supports advanced features like API endpoints, cloud integration, and loading balances for seamless operations and future expansion. And the type of data we collect. We collect player data, which includes like their names, position, jersey number, like all their attributes, performance stats, and like medical history, training schedules, like and before. And then for fans, we track like how long they've been there for, their behavior, if they like rewards and like communication purposes, and like also like their names and stuff too. And for tickets, we track the IDs, the seat numbers, game IDs, ticket type, pricing, discounts, promotion offers, and resale status. For merchandise, we record the items, product names, stock levels, reorder threshold, supplier detail, quantity sold, sale prices, and transaction dates. Here it is continued. For game data, we the names, or like the game ID, the dates, opponents, venues, final scores, player stats, historical comparison, and tools for data visualization. And reporting data, so stores report IDs, and then types of reports, key metrics, and the user who generates them. And then security collects users' ID, roles, access levels, audit logs, all that stuff. And integration data, document integrating tools, API endpoints, and scalability features. And then for the business rules, Gavin, you want to talk about these?
Yeah. So for business rules, let's run through them. A player can belong to one and only one team. A fan can purchase one-to-many tickets and merchandise items. A ticket is associated with one and only one fan and only one game. Merchandise items have a stock level and sales are tracked by quantity sold, so you'll see that in the ERD. A game is hosted by one and only one team and has a specific opponent and venue. Each team has one-to-many players and staff, and a staff member can only work for one and only one team. Excellent. So here with the conceptual data model, it's the simplified version, so you can pretty easily see the arrows and what the primary key is doing relative to the other main items here. So you can take a look at that and see like our primary keys are staff ID. We have team ID, player ID, item ID. There's fan ID, ticket ID, and game ID. So all of those are related to one another through either a foreign key or some other relation. And like with the logical data model, you can see all the varchars and intervals and decimals. There's a lot of numbers associated with like the ticket pricing and merchandise pricing and all that. Otherwise, all the staff, team, player, fan IDs all have pretty much varchars for the names and everything like that. So next we can start to get into our scripts. This is just our drop tables with our player management, fan engagement, ticket sales, merchandise inventory, game analytics, reporting, security access, and scalability integration like we've seen before. So with the next one here, when we get to our create tables, there's a lot that goes into the player management because there's a lot of statistics and injury histories and medical histories that we have to incorporate. And merchandising is pretty much a lot of stock or inventory, where you got the product from, how much you sold it for, why does it sell good? Like, is there something about it that makes it sell more than others? For fan engagement, we're just looking a lot at the demographics, loyalty program. Are they a member? Do they have season tickets? How much they spend on the team with merchandising, and for ticket sales, pretty much just letting the fan know what their seat number is, what type of ticket they got, if they got a discount or any promotional offers like that. And for the continuation of the creation tables, we have the game analytics, so that one's kind of a cool one because teams can look at the player stats and scores of the game and how many yards to go and make decisions based off of that. Security and access control, pretty much where fans access the building. There's audit logs and the roles everyone around the building has. Reporting and dashboards, we're looking at just the report type, if there's any problems, what type of metrics you use, and the report ID, obviously, to easily identify what the report was or the dashboard. Scalability, you're looking at integration tools, API endpoints, and scalability features. So once we get to the inserts, there's obviously a lot of information. We just kind of simplified it a little bit, looking into some of the most important players on the Vikings and looked at all of their injury histories and contract details, their schedules and stuff like that. And for fans, we just made up some fans that would make sense for people who live around Minnesota and might be interested in purchasing tickets or memberships with the team. For ticket sales, once again, we're looking at what type of ticket they got, where their seat is. So is it like a season pass? Do they get a holiday discount? Is it a Black Friday special? Stuff like that. For the next inserts, we have the merchandise inventory table. So are we selling like jerseys, hats, mugs, hoodies, keychains, everything like that? How much it costs, where you got it from, and how popular it is in the pro shop. For the analytics table, we're looking at scores of the games, how close the game was, what type of game it was, like were the quarterbacks performing high, or was it a running game, good defense, what was going on in that game. For the reporting table, looking at the performance reports, sales reports, fan engagements, game highlights, and everything like that. So for our first insert, or some more inserts, actually, we have the security access table. So who's getting a report, admins, managers, staff, analysts, technicians, what type of report is it? Is there like a name for it and stuff like that? Scalability, pretty much just looking at the tools that teams will use with like load balancing, auto scaling, redundancies, distributed systems, and serverless architecture. All right, so with our first SQL select with aggregate function, we're kind of just looking at the merchandising name, where you got the merchandising from, and how much of that item you sold. So you can just take a look at just an example of how much like keychains were sold or jerseys were sold and how much they were sold for. For the next one, we have another query. This one's selecting specific data from multiple tables, so it's a little more complex. We're just trying to get a player, their position. We're also looking at fans who bought tickets. This one more specifically is like players who offer fans or maybe their own family tickets and where they sat and everything like that. For the next one, it's finding fans who purchased tickets with the highest price. And from the database that we implemented, Bob Brown bought a ticket for $300 in Section D. So that's just a thing teams will use to see which fans are buying pricey tickets or which areas tickets aren't selling well or where they are selling well, everything like that. For our next selects, we are looking at players, how many touchdowns they have, who has the most touchdowns on the team. And here, and this is with a minimum of 50 games played. So this player had to have played at least 50 games. And Sam Darnold leads the way in his career with 65 touchdowns passing. And now we're on to our references.
Yeah, this is basically what we just where we found most of our like stuff for the Minnesota Vikings, like the like names and stuff like that, and like how many touchdowns and or like passing touchdowns they have. But yeah, that wraps up our database.